Okay. Take one with white-black enchantment control. I've been having a lot of take ones today. I'm probably just going to choose the best out of like the 5 videos I shoot. I don't know. Maybe I'll post them all and I'll just say take one in all of them anyway. That's fair, I guess. This is a very keepable hand. I just wanted, like, full disclosure. This isn't really the first game I've played with this deck. I am, in fact, showing you. I am, in fact, trying to start off on a good foot. I'm not going to do this for games, like, 2 through 5, because I don't care if I lose games 2 through 5. I just want to have game 1 look somewhat intriguing and good. So, matchup. Mono white humans, pretty good. Not much else I can say about it. I can really control his creatures very well. When I actually have Myth realized, it's very strong against him. Keeps him from getting in damage with his stupid creatures. Makes him actually use his good ones. Why is he looking at it for so long? Probably didn't play cons, I guess. Well, even if you did play cons, did you play against Myth realized? Like, nobody played Myth realized. This card's a hidden gem. Okay, even for someone who didn't play cons, it's taking him a long time to acknowledge that this Myth realized is a thing. I am legitimately afraid that he hacked in Force of Will and is about to use it. Can we talk about Force of Will? Whose idea was a 0-mana counterspell? I don't understand. Like, the balance is that you have to 2-for-1 yourself? That's so bad, though. I mean, like, so bad. Not the card is bad. The balance is bad. 0-mana counterspell is never fair. Even Daze in Pauper is really good, and that's not even a good card compared to Force of Will. And I will shoot down his random townsfolk. Get my Myth realized counter. And then I can Choking Restraints whatever his next thing is. So this is the white-red version of this deck. I've seen white-blue, mono-white, and white-red. And they're all perfectly viable. And I think I'm just going to say no to this board state. Like the whole thing. The thing with mono-white humans is that if you just keep saying no, they eventually understand it. This isn't like one of those decks where they can draw cards or anything. They've got Thraben Inspectors, and admittedly, this guy has all of the Thraben Inspectors, apparently. But this is a deck that can't really bounce back if it gets on the back foot deep enough. Deep enough. You don't go deep on a foot. That doesn't make sense. If it gets far enough back... Okay, this deck isn't a deck that has a lot of ways to make comebacks. Mine isn't either, obviously. But theirs really isn't. Like, super isn't. Hopefully I can draw land, then I can Ironclad Slayer deadweight down one of their creatures. Until then, I'm just going to leave open this Myth realized to block his Thraben Inspector. I do have that Sigil of the Empty Throne in my hand, so I'm basically guaranteed to be able to cast it at some point. He doesn't have Spell Mastery for a... Fiery Impulse. And I don't think this deck runs Incendiary Flow. I don't think this deck runs Fiery Impulse either. I could be getting Declaration in Stone. Or he could just, even after having read Myth realized for 2 hours, not understand it. No, I'm getting Declaration in Stoned. So he was just happy to 2-for-1 himself for no reason, I guess. I don't know. Some people are just happy to 2-for-1 themselves for no reason. You gotta let them do it, man. Some people just want to 2-for-1 themselves. Like people casting Force of Will. They're perfectly aware that it's a 2-for-1. Oh my god, he's spending all of the time reading these cards, man. Makes me feel good about myself as a Johnny. I actually wouldn't say I'm a Johnny. I'm probably somewhere between Timmy and Spike. You know, like, I do want to be original. I do have that bit of a Johnny in me, I guess, but Really, I just want to play stupid cards and somehow win? I don't know. If that makes me a Johnny, I'm a Johnny. If that makes me a Timmy, I'm a Timmy. I don't think that makes me a Spike, actually. On further inspection, that Spike thing was unfounded. I'm probably a Johnny or a Timmy. I would accept either of those. They seem reasonable. Okay. Let's go on the search for answers with Avacyn Stained Glass. Okay, he has to know how clue tokens work, right? Plains is in fact an answer. Just starting next turn. Let's Restraints Kytheon. Kytheon, whatever. He clearly wasn't too attached to the name himself if he was willing to change it to Gideon because someone mispronounced it. You gotta cut him some slack, though. He was like, what, 12? By 12, you don't know your own name. You don't know... You don't know anything. Your own name is just... It's just too hard at age 12. I mean, at age 12, I was still calling myself Geowit, so we're cool, Kytheon. I think you're best guy 20XX to, I don't know, 20. I don't know. Maybe you're just best guy 20XX. Just for like a split second at 20XX, Kytheon was the best guy. There's my Sigil of the Empty Throne. I chose that because Starfield of Nyx is not going to be getting online anytime soon, I don't think. Okay, he cast a Knight of the White Orchid, so Starfield of Nyx was probably the better decision if I knew that that was going to happen. But I didn't, so I think I made the best play with the knowledge that I had. And he draws a land, which is unfortunate. He really just needed another 1-drop. Honestly, though, what he needs is a faster start because right now this game is looking pretty locked down in my favor. I get a big buff angel, and now next turn I can kill his Knight of the White Orchid with his deadweight and pacify any threat that he plays. Yeah, he sees that it's over. And we go into the sideboard. Linvala coming in. Other than that, I think we're good. Let's find 2 cuts. Bound by Moonsilver is actually better than Choking Restraints against this deck, so I think I'm just going to trim off the Choking Restraints and Pacifism and send it back with Linvala, though. Linvala is nice because life gain is good, and she almost always gets the whole timely reinforcements thing. She gets the life gain and the extra warm bodies. I'm going to keep this because, you know, YOLO, I won game 1, and also mulling to 5 is uncomfortable and it makes me sad. So there's an Oath of Liliana, getting punished for sending that swamp to the bottom. Apparently Wizards does not like to reward me for good decisions, but it does reward me for greed every time. So from now on, I know the true secret. And he's just going to flip his Gossip Monger. Pros take note. We flip Gossip Monger during the main phase now. No, I shouldn't be hard on the guy. There was literally no reason not to flip it during his main phase. No one was doing anything. And he's just going to get in for 4. Or for 3 and get another dude. Which actually seems better than getting in for 4. How much does this need to flip? 4 more creatures? Okay. I think it's... Oh, wait. This is a flash spell. Pros take note. We play flash spells during the main phase now. Well, I guess we get rid of the Militia Captain. Because I didn't actually wait long enough to gather the knowledge I needed to cast that at the right time. Kytheon. Okay, so I cast it at the right time. I did it by chance, though, not by any good plays. And he gets in for about $1 billion. And he flips Kithian. So I super need to just... Okay, that's probably game. I definitely needed a way to wrath his board, and I actually don't have one in his deck to kill the incited... in this deck to kill the incited rabble. All my stuff costs a ton of mana, and I'm dead next turn. So, run it back. Well, maybe I'll take in a pacifism for a choking restraints, actually. Okay, now we run it back. I guess my thought is that I need all my cheap ways to get rid of creatures on deck. And I need to not get Reckless Bushwhackered, really, is the thing. More than anything else, don't get blown out by Reckless Bushwhacker is a good strategy in general. This is a keepable one. I'm not excited about it, but it's not as bad as that last one that I kept because YOLO. Most hands aren't as bad as a hand that you keep because YOLO. Just in general, let me be... If you guys take nothing away from this, then take away that most hands aren't as bad as the hand that you're about to keep because YOLO. So I'll shoot down this Dragon Hunter past the turn. I do in fact want to have a target for my Ironclad Slayer. Did he keep a one-lander? No. Okay. It's perfectly acceptable to keep a one-lander in humans sometimes. It's really situational. Anyway, down comes Ironclad Slayer. And I've got another deadweight in hand again. Yes. So if I draw a Sigil of the Empty Throne, I'm set. And otherwise, I just got a ton of removal, which is also okay. You know, just a lot of things I'm okay with going on right now. No, Declaration in Stone is great. It just makes it a solid 2-for-1. And he gets in for 1 with his Anointer. I'm just going to Oath of Liliana him. Because if I draw another land, retreating to Emeria now and retreating to Emeria next turn are the same thing. But this way I get to kill his Anointer of Champions out of spite, basically. But I want to see some creatures to hit up with this deadweight. So hopefully I just draw a land next turn. Okay, Flaying Tendrils is pretty good. And shoot down that Gossip Monger. And so this is what I'm talking about with humans not having card draw. He's pretty lost at this point, as long as I keep drawing removal at the same rate that he keeps drawing creatures. Which would be reasonable, seeing as my deck is about the same amount removal as his creatures. Okay, he's got Needle Spires, which is kind of unfortunate. I would need a Stasis Snare to deal with this fully. And it's a really intimidating land. So I can retreat, though. And then if he ever wants to cast spells again, he has to not fire up his Needle Spires. So we have that in our favor. Get a 1/1 core ally. So I can block the Needle Spires at least. Which I will. Core ally lady is happy to give up her life for the cause. And then if he wants to cast anything, he can't fire up Needle Spires anyway. And if I get to 3 core allies, then they can eat the Needle Spires. And there's a Town Gossip Monger, so... Unless he's holding up a land, which he could be. Okay, so I draw another Flying Tendrils, which is, again, fine. I'm just going to deadweight down this Gossip Monger. And send him back the turn. The nice thing right now is that he does have to take damage to fire up his Needle Spires. What's he going to cast for 4 on my end step? Secure the wastes. Okay. I'm fine with this. If he just casts more creatures and not a Reckless Bushwhacker, then I can Flaying Tendrils away his board. Please no Bushwhacker. Please no Bushwhacker. Please no Bushwhacker. Please. Please no Bushwhacker. Okay, I'm so happy because there was no Bushwhacker. I'll block one of them because everything's about to be dead. And hopefully it casts something second main phase too? No. Okay. People, sometimes they extend further into your board wipe, and sometimes they just don't. Tendrils. Land. Get a 1/1. Go. At this point, any one of my win conditions just wins. Like, he has nothing if I Linvala, or if I, do something of the like. And Stasis Snare is pretty devastating against this Needle Spires because it is his only threat right now. Myth Realized. That's not bad. I'm going to be taking 4 damage off the Needle Spires that I can't do anything about. But in a few turns, I can make my Myth Realized big enough to eat it. And I'm actually happy just making it big enough to trade with it too, which is 3. And instead of worrying about getting to the full 5. He's just going to fire up the Needle Spires again, isn't he? Okay. Gets in for 2. Hopefully he casts a creature here so that I'll have a target for this pacifism. Nope, but I do draw a land, which means I can buy myself a turn that way. Also, pros, take notes. Fire up your... Put counters on your Myth Realized on your turn instead of representing on their turn. He's actually got more cards in hand than me right now, and that's kind of disturbing to me. I have no idea what he's planning on. All I need is any of my win conditions at this point, and I win. Thalia's Lieutenant. Well, the way that he just cast that... Okay, there's another Thalia's Lieutenant. But if he had anything else, he would have cast it first, which means that this Flaying Tendrils is going to be able to hit him and kill one of them. Actually, I didn't calc that right. I should calculate before I speak. Put Myth Realized up to 3. Okay, so pacifism. Bound by Moonsilver. And I'm thinking I'm just going to fire up my Myth Realized and get in for 5. Because I can block the Needle Spires with my core ally. But I actually just have him on a 2-turn clock at this point. If I put one more counter on my Myth Realized in any way. Which is going to be pretty easy. I don't see myself tapping out for anything. And even though this deck runs red, it does not run burn. It runs Duders. Does he get himself a land? He does. Okay. Cool. Good for him. He just needs to find... If he finds an answer to this Myth Realized, he's probably doing fine. I mean, of course, if I draw any of my ways to win, I instantly win. Just on the spot. Fires up his Needle Spires. And just gets totally stuffed by this core ally. And I get an Oath of Liliana off the top, which is, I'm not going to lie, pretty underwhelming. But I'm going to run it out because it will enable my other stuff later, because I now have the loop online. If I need to do the Oath of Liliana loop with Starfield of Nyx. And I now have another thing in the graveyard for my Starfield of Nyx as well. So I could just Tendrils away his knight right now for no reason. And then just get in for 7. That'd be fine, right? What, Tendrils away the knight, get in for 7, and then he needs a creature or he's dead? It seems decent at least, because I don't want to play defense right now. Because I know he doesn't have burn in his deck at all, is the thing. And his only threat right now is the Needle Spires. So if I can hit him for 7, I basically stymied his mana too over the next few turns, because his red is going to be a lot more hard to access when he's at 1 or 2 life through those pain lands. So Needle Spires is his only non-pain land red source right now. So he's going to hit me back for 4 with the Needle Spires, and if he has a Goblin Bushwhacker, if he has a Reckless Bushwhacker, I just played into it and died. I was dead to a Reckless Bushwhacker anyway, most likely. And if he has another Secure the Waste, I'm going to kick myself. But other than that, I'm just basically abyssing him with this Mithralized. I'm forcing him to have something. Basically, he has to have a creature, and I have to not draw removal for a couple of turns in a row. And there's an Anointer, so he does get a creature. And any removal spell, that'll do it. Ironclad Slayer. And I think he's probably just going to concede at this point. Nope. That pause, yeah, there we go. Well, good game opponent. And that's been Black-White Enchantment Control. That went pretty well. It's not always that good. And for the bad hand, it's not always that bad. This deck, I've noticed it does have quite a bit of variance. Against creature-based decks, it actually has a chance against all of them, I think. I've beat Bant Company with it. If I get good hands, it's easy. If I get bad hands, it's not. Everything comes down to getting those bombs down on time. So, I'll see you in match 2. Until then, peace out. Catch you then.